Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on November 3rd, 2023 at approximately 4:26 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. And I build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day to day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the exact philosophies I personally guide my own life and actions by. I've offered these tools to literally thousands of people over the years with varying degrees of success, depending entirely on their own individual efforts. This is why I know these tools will work for you. Now, before I get into it, as we talked about a while ago, and forgive me, but I do not recall which listener was actually asking for it. But we are going to be looking at, well, we're going to start by looking at generational curses and contracts and how to balance them, how to bring them together, bring them to a comfortable balance, or what the story is. But before we get into that, we have Kimberly Paget is in with the gold. Welcome aboard, Kimberly. Glad you could make it. And Shadow is in here with the silver with Shadow and Sun. And this is the live stream for Shadow and Sun's stream. So absolutely drop in, give it a listen. If you like what he has to say, come out, give him a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. Okay, it's this sharing that is going to enable us to turn around and really, like, it's going to enable us to work together, change the tide of civilization. I know that's a big order. Okay, and I know for an absolute certainty that it's something that if we start working together, we can make it happen. Okay, now we have, where are we here? Go back up here. Yeah, do that so I can keep it. And we have Joe Stewart is in here with the bronze. We are also in here, Joe, with a very happy birthday. Hopefully you've had a good one. And Ken Stockland is in with honorable mention. How you doing, Ken? Glad you can join us. And then we have Emmy Tonga, Adam Lakatos. And Adam, you have applied. I gotta ask. You're going in, correct me if I'm wrong there, Adam, but you said something about going in for shipping management or something to that effect? Hopefully that goes well. Okay, and we are off to the races, as it were. Just like, no, we won't say that. That's just wrong. But where it comes to generational contracts, and by the way, guys, if you're just joining us, if you haven't been here before, be absolutely certain you understand two major factors. One, we start with what's listed as the topic, but that's seldom where we stay. There we go. Thanks for the clarification there, Adam. Okay, Adam's actually going after supply chain management. Yeah, absolutely. And sooner or later, you're going to not want to be driving all over Hex Half Acre, that's for certain. But for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, or if you've forgotten, couple of major factors. If you like the stream, absolutely do me a favor and give us a thumbs up. Okay, and subscribe to the channel, and then again, share the daylights out of it. To me, it doesn't even matter if you share it to your enemies. Okay, sometimes you may not get along with somebody and somebody else will. That said, in this stream, when you've got a question, doesn't matter if it's in the same topic that we're discussing. Okay, put the question in all caps. This is not yelling. This is strictly an issue of getting my attention. So all caps, partial caps, at least a wavy hand that goes something to this effect so that I can actually find the thing. Okay. Now, the other thing is you'll notice a lot of communication between the people in this chat room that isn't necessarily on topic. This is not a big problem here. This does not make people trolls. Okay, but I will absolutely, and this came to my attention the other day. There are some, apparently, there are some bot trolls that come in. Now, I don't know how to identify them, or for that matter, how to identify an actual troll myself. So, if I come up and go, "Are you a real person?" For pity's sakes, answer the question. Okay. And put the answer in all caps so I do see it. If you're a real person, I got no problem with communication, like with answering questions. Okay. But we have to remember that we operate on a simple premise here. I look at the idea that you're just going to be honest. I think so too. Yeah, I think they do there, Adam. Wyatt, how you doing? Glad you could join us. That from my standpoint boils down to this. I simply go with a couple of things and with a couple of ideas. If they come up, I will bring them to your attention. I am a firm believer that we've got to look at this world and go, okay, everybody deserves to be respected. That includes everybody in this chat room. This is not just about me, guys. Yes, I'm the one doing the stream, but the fact of the matter is, if it weren't for you guys, well, we wouldn't be doing the stream. As a matter of fact, it's literally because of you guys that we're still doing it. Okay, now when we look at generational curses or or generational contracts, couple of things we got to get straight. First and foremost, curses on the whole. Now there are such things as curses. Okay, there absolutely are, but there are very few people in today's world that actually know how to implement them. Okay, and frankly, the energetic cost of putting a curse on somebody is phenomenal. Let us not forget, karmic law is real simple. Okay, be true to yourself first. Okay, Cowie, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Okay, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. Meaning, where it comes to generational curses, if somebody comes up and curses you, they're getting the same thing back. Okay, but here's the kicker to it. Okay, the whole idea of curses and it being, we have to, you take on the sins of your father. This was a control stuff. This had nothing to do with karmic law. It had nothing to do with creation. It had to do with mankind going, I desire you to pay for what your father did. This doesn't work. Okay. So we'll start there. Most of what people are thinking are curses at this point. And do understand there are some that are real. Okay. The Hope Diamond is a pretty cut and dried issue. Fortunately, there aren't that many people that have had to deal with the Hope Diamond. At least not that are still alive. But most of the time, when we're dealing with generational curses, it's because what happens is way back in your family line's history, somebody set somebody off, and they went, "I curse you and all of your descendants until the end of time." This is a cute thought. It only functionally applies in most cases to you if you have taken that bait and gone hook, line, and sinker and gone, I'm going to have troubles with this all my life. Okay, because my great 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 grandfather set off a gypsy that cursed my family for life. She didn't have that much power, neither did he. However, your belief in that curse is absolutely going to create havoc and will draw that kind of negative energy to you. Okay. Now, do not get me wrong. This is not something that you turn around and go, "Oh, I'm just going to say it didn't happen and therefore I don't have to worry about it. Not quite that simple. Okay, what is that simple is you going, okay, I didn't sign the contract, I didn't do that thing. And this is, again, this links right over into your generational contracts. If you did not sign the paper, okay, or utter the words that, yes, I'm going to fulfill this contract. You know, my grandmother made this contract and it held. My father said he was going to finish the contract. Now I'm accepting the contract. That's the way a generational contract gets carried on. Okay, the only way it can get carried on is if you personally put the effort into contracting yourself as a follow through. Ferret, how you doing? Hopefully things are going well on your end. I am kind of curious how your weather was today. I mean, ours was brilliant. We were a balmy 9 degrees here, which is really kind of cute when you think about it. 9 making it about 40 degrees. No, about 50 degrees, which was really nice after what we've been having. But when we're talking about generational contracts, the first thing you got to realize, okay, the first thing you got to realize is that we are not talking about something you have to follow. It's something you have to, that you've got to make up your mind, are you going to follow? Okay, where are we here? Yeah, well, unless I misremember here, Ferret, you're on the island or at least in Vancouver. And if either is the case, of course it feels like it's going to rain. I grew up in Comox myself. Oh, okay. Well, here's the good news. And Emmy, therein lies the problem right there. Okay. Oh, you live right in Comox, Ferret? See, now here's a little piece of information you personally can relate to. Okay. I grew up on Little River Road. Matter of fact, if you want to see my old house, it's at 1774 Little River Road, right down by the airport. Okay, there's an interesting little piece of information that few people will be able to deal with. The other question, this is just curiosity on my part, is there used to be a little hole in the wall hamburger joint there called George's. I do hope it's still active. One of the best burger joints I ever came across, but talk about a hole in the wall. This is what's called going, perfect. Yeah, that's what I thought. Here's a piece of information for you there, Ferret. And this goes way outside the norm, and normally I wouldn't do that, but they've still got the combo burger there, I hope. And the one that is half hamburger, half hot dog, I mean. Okay, here's your little piece of history. Years and years ago, way back in the 70s. Well, way back in the 70s, when I was living there, I don't know exactly what year it was, but my dad had taken us to George's, and the guy in front of the guy in front of my father had ordered a hot dog and then wandered off. And of course, George himself looked at it and goes, "Well, what am I going to do with this?" My father looks at him and goes, "Well, slice the wiener in half, put it on top of my burger, put the thing together, charge me an extra buck, and call it a combo burger." Next thing that George knew, he had a lineup of people wanting this combo burger. Because somebody asked Dad, well, what the heck was that? He says, he's calling it a combo burger. That thing, okay, is still apparently the only place you can get it. But that was literally my father's idea. Just a little piece of history for you that isn't written down anywhere. Now, no, George had a memory that was just absolutely bizarre. I did meet his son. I was down there a few years ago, and they were still open then. When was that? That would have been back. Well, that would have been 10 years back now. Okay, that's just a little bit of a walk down memory lane for you. Actually, it's for me, but that's beside the point. Okay, now I'm just gonna scroll back up here. And Emmy, going back up to what I was talking about before I so rudely interrupted myself. Actually, not so rudely, but your mom thinking her name was a curse. The thing is, in Spanish, certainly Dolores it means sorrow, but sorrow is not always a bad thing. Sadly for your mom, she thought it was. Sorrow does not always mean that everything has gone bad for you. Okay. The important factor is in Spanish, it means sorrow. In English, it means Dolores. Okay. And if your mom could turn her head around on that one, that would be great. Okay. Now, where are we here? Now, that being said, her belief that it was a curse was actually a lot of the reason that she would have had complications. Because she put out this concept that is a curse. And every time somebody uses my name, they're going to draw more energy into that curse, and my life's just going to get worse. Okay. Oh, here's the other one for you, Ferret. Down on Air Force Beach. There used to be a little canteen down there. Okay. That little oh, there we go. Here's how I'm gonna put kink in that. But no, that little canteen down on the beach, that was the first job that I ever had, was working that thing. Started that when I was 9, was essentially running it by the time I was 12. But I'm looking at this here, and Joe, you're absolutely right. Putting a curse on anyone is certainly a bad idea, especially if you know know what you're doing. It may or will come back to haunt you. That funny little thing about karmic law: energy out, energy in. You put a curse on somebody, it's going to come back and bite you one way or the other. Not entirely an enjoyable thing, but hey, to each their own. Okay. Where are we here? Yes, we did there, Ferret, but that was my doing. I appreciate that side of it, though. No, I could go through all sorts of things that happened down at that down in Comox there when I was growing up. I was actually involved in moving Rob Road up to Highland when Highland first opened. I just wasn't one of the first grad class because, well, frankly, I ended up moving. Dad had this idea, hey, I know, let's go to a city where I can feed my kids instead of staying here. Now, going down a little further here, needless to say, I'm a little behind, but that's okay. I say, it's okay because I said it was okay. This works out well. I'm just looking at this. Fair goes, my mother-in-law had to change her phone number. It was all sixes. Well, here's the silly part about the number 666. Somewhere in the Bible, and I have not looked it up, somewhere in the Bible, the number of the beast is not 666. It tells you, or at least it used to tell you in an older copy, the number of the beast is 666 inverted, meaning 999. And if you're German, that's understandable. It's now no, no, no. But that's a whole different sidetrack. Curses are very, very difficult to place, and as Joe pointed out, really kind of dense to take place. Well, that doesn't surprise me. That used to be a public beach. We used to, down in Air Force Beach. Well, I don't know what the airline number was, but or not the airline, but the menu, the runway number. But if you know where 1774 was, you'll understand why when they said when they took the F-101s, the Voodoos, we had 3 of them blow up over top of our house, and they dropped a Galaxy Starlifter in on that runway. Lord knows how they got it off the ground again, but boy, was that ever a sight. But no, yes, we do that a lot. We get sidetracked. But when we're looking at generational curses, if your family has carried on this idea, we are cursed, and you're told this until, right from the time you're a little kid, up to the time you're an adult, what's happening is you're being brainwashed. Okay. You're being brainwashed to believe that you're cursed. And bearing in mind, most people see a curse as a bad thing. Greetings, football. Glad you could join us. If you have been taught that, you've been brainwashed to believe that your family, that your life is cursed. Now, here's the kicker to it. You can actually turn around and change that. And we'll get to how to modify that, as well as the whole idea of generational contracts. Okay. We will cover all that before we get done today. Okay. The neat little part about all of this is the following. First and foremost, understand whether it's a curse or a contract. If it's a curse, it can be changed. Okay, it can be corrected, it can be altered. If it's a contract, if you didn't actually take on that contract yourself, as in going, okay, this is what I was told was the family contract, therefore I'm going to follow through with it. If you've done that, then yes, you have a generational contract that will carry forward. If, on the other hand, you look at that contract and go, I'm not saying it wasn't made in good faith, but they're dead, and I'm not doing it. Okay, when the holder of a contract dies, nobody else has to pick the contract up. That becomes your choice. Now, I know this goes against what most people have probably been telling you. Okay, but the reality of it is, it only, and this is going to sound as egocentric as they get. Okay, absolutely. It'll sound egocentric. But let's just assume for a moment that everybody that's been telling you that, number one, is passing on what they've been told, and they may not have solid information to start with. Okay, which means they may be dealing with what I call true ignorance. Okay, true ignorance being for whatever reason, they didn't get the message or they didn't know what they were dealing with. Okay, stupidity is when you know better and you do it anyway. Okay, and I know people go, "Oh, I don't like the term stupid." Well, that's kind of unfortunate. I look at it and go, if you're doing something stupid, it's stupid. You know the old saying, you know, there is, they say duct tape can fix everything. And Joe goes, I need to stop really repeating myself so much. Remind me again how? That's the easy part. When you go to say it, when you catch yourself repeating yourself, literally cut yourself off. The way I stopped using can't so much, and the way I stopped my memory from being a shambles where it came to people's names was if I uttered the word can't, want, need. These are just some of the words, and I'll be expanding on those again in the near future here. When you utter one of these words, or you find yourself repeating yourself, cut yourself off. It'll sound a little weird to other people, but it doesn't matter. Football, the answer is yes. As a matter of fact, that reminds me, I gotta let Dave know, which is not a bad idea. So why don't we deal with that? We go up here, and who is that? Nope, those are not what I require. So go there, and let us see. There we are. Figure, thanks so much for reminding me. I was supposed to get to him this morning, but it didn't quite work. Just letting Dave know. He's on Facebook right now, so I'm just letting him know directly. Now we'll see what that comes up with. Yeah, I keep trying to keep myself running in the right direction, but Joe, to finish off, or maybe I'm repeating myself, I don't know. Of course, I don't get hung up on it. If I'm repeating myself, so be it. But when you find yourself repeating yourself, that sounds really, really bad. It was really poor English. Literally cut yourself and go, no, wait a minute, I already said that. Tell yourself out loud. It'll sound weird to other people. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it sounds weird to other people. That verbal utterance will make it easier for you to actually stop yourself from doing it down the road. So that's one of the nice little issues. But yeah, I cannot believe we are now. It seems to me, and Dave has not had the time to look back, and it's really not a critical issue. But it seems to me that it'll be 9 years in March that I actually first got onto Spaced Out. Right. And intriguingly enough, March 6th of next year will be my third full year of being on air myself. It has not always been smooth, but hey, what the heck. Look, I just missed him on me. I sent it, but he was off. He was off about 3 minutes before I sent it. But the answer is yeah. And as a matter of fact, let's minimize that. Well, not minimize. Pop that over there. And this is actually the link to Dave's show. So absolutely, at 9 o'clock tonight, Pacific time, drop in, bring your questions, same as here, or more to the point, this is the same as there. Okay. And again, pop them in the chat room because quite frankly, a lot of this, that's the line there. Okay, that's the address that's the link to Dave's show. 9 p.m. tonight, Pacific time. Okay, and yeah, I will be there. It's been a hectic day today, which is really cute. What do we got here? Nope, got all that, so that's good. Now, when you're looking at contracts, okay, there's this neat little idea of people sign a contract when they come here. It's like, you signed a contract, you have to do it. Well, here's the kicker. The contract you signed was not with God or your higher self or the angels or anybody else. The contract you signed was with you. Okay. And yes, you've absolutely got things that you came here to gain wisdom around. How you gain that wisdom is entirely up to you. Okay. But if somebody else took a contract, that does not immediately become yours. Oh, there we are. The thing you got to remember is you've got the right to say, yes, I'll carry that contract, I'll fulfill it. You don't have to. That's not part of the deal. That's a choice you've got to make. The curse, again, the idea that you've been cursed comes from way, way, way back. And quite honestly, a lot of it, well, the gypsies developed the concept of a curse way before the other religions got a hold of it. But they did capitalize on it. Only many of the mainstream religions didn't call it a curse. They just told you you've been marked by God. You know, your life is going to be miserable because God's going to punish you. Well, bad news. Remember that funny thing about God actually loving everybody? God is not a sadist. He's really not. Okay, but um, there was a real neat little situation where it comes to generational curses that used to be propagated because all of a sudden some of the people in charge, and we're talking centuries back, which means the fact that it's still being replicated today is a centuries old problem of misinformation. Okay, somebody way back, I don't know who, I do know it wasn't my fault. I can be blamed for a lot of things, and as we discussed the other day, the Chicago fire is not one of them. I was dead at the time. Okay, really? I'm just looking at this. We are apparently at 368 subscribers right now, or at 568 subscribers right now. Ferret. The answer is absolutely almost 100% accurate. Okay. Do understand what Ferret's asked for those of you that are just listening in and don't have the chat room available. Ferret has asked, I wonder if you keep thinking you're cursed, then you will be. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Absolutely. I used to have a memory that was about that long for names. But what I found was that once I started telling myself my memory's getting better, okay, because I was always telling myself and others, look, if I forget your name, sorry, my memory lasts about that long, right? I started telling myself I'm remembering names clearly and with focus. Okay, and it is improving. The moment I started doing that, I started to have my memory for names, or more to the point, my recall for names grew exponentially. Okay, but it's very much like if you're constantly told as a child, you're stupid. Okay, I know people don't like the word. We've got to say something like, you're not intelligent. I don't know. Okay. Quite frankly, I'm looking at it going, if you're being stupid and you take offense for being told you're being stupid, my guess is the shoe may fit. Do understand, I've never been known for being politically correct. Oh. I'm gonna have to take a look at that, Joe. Let me see here. Blow that up and see if it shows up better. We need the volume. Thank you so much. Hey. Okay, I do not need the volume. But the only thing I can tell you there, Joe, like I'm looking at this picture, the only thing I can see myself, of course, my monitor may be the problem. But quite frankly, those are pit bulls is what I'm looking at. But I'm not sure which dark things you're looking at. I'm looking at the film you sent me. Okay. And clearly I am not a video analyst. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much there, Ferric. I haven't refreshed I haven't refreshed that feed right yet. Okay. But I'm quite happy with it. I'm finally starting to get things turned around. Where are we here? Let's get that out of the way so I can actually eliminate the problem. Oh. Hit that. There we go. And now we bring that back. I'm working on 3 different monitors here, guys. Ow. Take care there, Farrah. Thanks so much for dropping in. Really do appreciate you taking the time. Now, yeah, the thing is, where are we here? Yeah, we're going to have to get him straightened out. But in all fairness, if you could get it up here, that'd be great. I've been all over 2 countries. Literally, of course, I was in a plane. But like you, I have never seen that burger anywhere. Matter of fact, when I got up here and saw them call it a combo burger, I went, that's not a combo burger. Combo burger up here is a burger and fries. That to me will never be a combo burger. A meal, certainly. But that's by that being said, when we start looking at curses, if you tell yourself you are cursed, that your life is going to be miserable, rest assured you will set yourself up for it. Now, I'm going to go sideways on that for half a second, because I've got a number of self-help books out already, obviously. I've just put together a formula to pull my own finances out of an ab bin. Okay, so I'm going to be putting that together, and I've got a number of different articles and what have you that I'm working on. But like I said, it is time that we start pitching together and really making things happen. Depends on what I'm just, yeah. Where are we here? Raven, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Tonight's Friday, so I'm pretty booked solid. Needless, and where the heck did yes, I see my video is completely pixelated. And I have no idea what to do about that. Let us see, I'm just curious. Yeah, I just wanted to hear what the volume was coming through like. I can see that the video is very pixelated over there. Why? I have no clue. Oh, perfect, Raven. Glad to hear that. Maybe it's just my monitor. Of course, my monitor is probably 10 years old. You know, but I take a look at the way this world is and go, okay, you can continue telling yourself you're cursed, your life is a mess, your life is miserable, there's no hope for your future. Be my guest. Keep telling yourself that, but I'm warning you, you start buying into that, you're going to co-create that kind of a negative experience. Okay. I finally found a way to get my head on straight to turn things around. And I'm telling you, it works. And the reason I know it works is because I'm doing it. Okay. Like, let's take a look at these generational contracts. My father signed a contract, and this is what he was supposed to do. You know, no disrespect intended. But if your father signed a contract and he died, the person he signed the contract with is going to have a hard time taking him to court. Okay. And this is the whole thing about contract law. The contract was made between the former and the family member and somebody else. If you did not sign the contract and take it on, it's not your contract. Let's see. Gordana, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Just gotta see what that says. See, I have no idea about the technology thing. I'm still working on trying to make it work at all. What I do know is I was talking to somebody regarding marketing just the other day. Okay. And it dawned on me, you know, after Clued In, I had been telling myself that that I had lousy memory for names. Okay. As soon as I started telling myself my memory's getting better, all of a sudden it started to work better. Okay. Now here's the kicker. I've been doing the same, and I'll call it stupid at this point. To start with, it was ignorant. In other words, I didn't honestly clue in. Okay. Nobody pointed it out to me. But I used to tell myself I'm absolutely pathetic with computers. Okay. Now I tell myself I'm getting better at it and I'm remembering how to market. To that end, I was talking to a couple of people the other day. Okay, or more to the point, I was going through some of the chat rooms that I've been looking at. Okay, or some of the pages on Facebook regarding ideas for getting people interested in what I'm working with. Okay, so I'm in the middle of writing an article that I'll be posting within the next few days regarding how I came about, how the whole storyline behind the Yldrbac Chronicles came about. Okay. Now, I could have bought in to what my parents were told. Okay, my parents did tell me, they passed it on to me. When I was just a wee lad, my parents were told I was mentally retarded. Okay. And literally, they say, you know, they were told if he ever learns to tie his shoes, he's ahead of the game. Okay. Yeah. Cordon goes, wish there is a closed caption. Ken can talk, I can read. Well, that works out well. And I will tell you this, sign language doesn't work well. Look at the bright side, though, Ken. I know a couple in town here. The husband is blind as a post. The wife is deaf as a doorknob. Okay. So, I mean, you always find a balance point. You know, well, you usually find a balance point if you really intend to. So I mean, this is where we look at it. But the reality of things is this: if you continue telling yourself that you're cursed, you are re-strengthening that or reinforcing that concept. If you tell yourself and continue to tell yourself, I'm not cursed, I'm not taking that curse with me anymore, it's not mine, most of the time that will work. Okay, understand something critical. On the whole, telling yourself you're not ill, okay, when you're ill, it's a great idea, but the problem is, in most people's case, it won't work. Okay, in my case, I just look at it and go, I haven't got time for this, so I'm not taking it. For me, that works like a charm. For my boys, well, let me put it this way. I dislocate my leg on a regular basis, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds later, I'm walking. Granted, with a limp. My youngest son dislocates his knee. It takes him 2 months to be able to walk properly, or to be able to walk, period. So clearly he did not get my healing right. Problem with generational curses is we are taught that, and especially from the religious community, the sins of your fathers are upon you. If your father sins, you're going to be punished. Where is the rationality there? Okay, why should you be beaten if your father did something wrong? Absolutely, Raven. Absolutely, you are correct. If you do, and this is why I say, if you desire your life to turn for the better, you're the one that's going to have to start making that happen. Okay, when I go out, I'm reclusive, and I will still greet people friendly, in a friendly fashion. Okay, I make no bones about it. I do not like being out with a lot of people at all. However, that said, I did now ages ago. I gave my brother a real serious hand at a point. What have we got? I'm not even sure what CBD is. Oh, that's cannabis oil, isn't it? Okay, now do understand something very important in football before I actually answer that question. I am not a medical doctor of any form. Okay, but presuming that they didn't add a whole bunch of extra chemicals to it, CBD is is theoretically, okay, theoretically, because it's natural, it should not be a big problem. Cannabis itself is one of the most, in my opinion, it is one of the most underrated plants. See, I didn't ever bother blaming my computer. I used to blame me. And I can say it doesn't happen all I want. All I desire to. It still reacts funny. But then my subquantum biomagnetic field does play havoc with electrics. Okay. Anybody's field will play havoc with electrics. There we go. And there's a little bit of added information. And thank you so much there, Emmy. Okay. Emmy Tonga is just saying, yes, CBD oil is good for them. Just make sure it doesn't have any THC in it. Yeah. And the one thing I'm lucky about there, Raven, is as much as I affect electronics, I've never had a negative effect on an aircraft that I'm aware of. Okay. See, I can wear a watch, it just doesn't work. You know, but even with my lack of comfort in traveling, I am still planning on turning around and making the SOR party down in Las Vegas next year. Okay. I'm already planning on that and making the effort to get there. By the way, what they can be. What you don't want to see is a drunk elephant. They may be fun to watch, but they are really painful if they step on you. Oh, okay. Football's just correcting us. It's not Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Henderson, Nevada. In either event, I've got my passport now. Okay, so that's good for 10 years. So I will be. Where are we here? Oh, Gordana goes, yesterday, private number person called, 8:36 a.m. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, years ago there, Gordana, when I was working as a psychic online, I had this tiny little voice come on the phone. I knew the age was too young. So I'm sitting there and she's going, hello, hello. And I'm like, that's way too young. So I says, hey kiddo. And he says, how old are you? And she goes, I'm 5. I said, you are way too young. I'm going to have to hang up. So I said goodbye and hung up the phone. But who in their right mind puts a psychic on speed dial that your kid can get a hold of? You know, but no, whenever it comes to the way your life is going, you can continue to tell yourself it's always been miserable, therefore it's always going to be miserable. Okay. But understand, I've made that mistake before, which is why at this point, as of this morning, okay, my big credit card got paid off. It is now at zero balance. Actually, in all fairness, it's below zero balance. But I will be clearing off some of that right quick, like when I get done this stream. I think there was a charge that went through, but it was supposed to. So I will be dealing with that stuff as quickly as I can. But I figured out a financial formula, which I am going. Where are we here? Oh, Gordana goes, I saw on Craigslist, found with picture of a toy, looks like a dog. That is an area I didn't even think about. But correct me if I'm wrong, Gordana. Craigslist it's a global community, is it not? Or do they, because I haven't been on it. I do know I've got to start getting things sorted around. Well, unfortunately, people are taught to be cruel. Kids are not actually, kids are not born cruel. They are taught by adults and by society. Semper Fi there, Black Dragon. How you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, I mean, I watch a lot of what's going on. I'm going, we can keep going down this path. You can keep looking at society and go, like, I could buy into it and go, humanity has done this time and time again. You've gone down the same road. Okay. It's up to you whether we keep going down that road. I'm telling you, it's a bad outcome. What do we got? Oh, that goes out today. I'm just looking at this. I got a garbage can beside me. But I have been clearing things up, and you're gonna, well, you don't have to, pardon me. Yeah, that's your option. But remember that thing I mentioned about procrastination not working well? It works great for putting things off, but doesn't get much accomplished. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I know this has to go out tonight because I don't want it in my house anymore. And no, my hands do not necessarily work well. There. That can go away when I get done the stream. Football goes, Mr. Bacon has arrived. Uh-oh. Now I gotta ask football because I'm hoping that wasn't it, that sentence wasn't completed. Oh, I mean every place has its problems. There's no question there. Okay, but one of the things I am doing right now. Well, not right now, as you can see. That's that neat little list that I've been working on today. I've been a little preoccupied with certain things and got a lot of things I didn't have on there, not the least of which, and oh no, I did that. So I'll deal with that afterwards. What is that? That's all just blank. This one is the other part of things. So as you can see, I think, yeah, I've got paperwork behind me that I've been working on. But what did you just do? Oh, it's just refreshing. Okay. I don't know if your guy's screen just went hoopy, but mine did. I really got to ask Derek because that confuses me. Derek goes, Keith, you were a superstar on SOR. The thing that confuses me is I don't recall being on SOR last night. But at least I wasn't wanted. Oh, okay. Don't ask me how to cope with that. Actually, I might be able to a degree. It's buffering, so what happens if I hit refresh and see what happens? Okay, well, that put me back. Okay. Speaking of which, I gotta get in touch with him. I ran into a massive problem that I only just figured out tonight. Okay. Or this morning rather. I finally have a little bit of room to work with. Because I'll tell you, having no income for what? Well, we're in November now, so 11 months is not good for your pocketbook. Yeah, so things are coming along. Oh, if it's any consolation, Emmy, I do know I've got a doppelganger. Years ago, a doppelganger of mine was spotted in Edmonton, Alberta. I've never met him. Well, let's not forget, Derek, that when you take a look at, let me ask you this, Derek. Yeah, okay, TikTok. I was reading that backwards. But yeah, there is a YouTube video somewhere. Do not ask me how you're going to find it, but it shows a couple of those guys running through the New York sewers. I'm just looking at this. Derek's writing, wait, R. Keith did come on last night for 5 minutes. Not unheard of, but like I said, I'm drawing a complete blank. I have no idea. Let me open the blind and I'll see. Give me a second. What I'm checking for, football's asking, is it storming? Give me half a sec. I'm going to go check up front and find out. Okay, I am back. As you can see, my desk is occupied, but that's beside the point. The answer to the question is yes, but not directly overhead. Derek, I have no idea. Derek goes, Keith, what resolution do you have your screen settings on? Not only do I not know what it is, I don't know where to find it or how to adjust it. The fact it's showing it all is amazing to me. Where are we here? Uh-oh. That's terrible. That's just terrible there, Ferret. Ferret, I walk out of the room and Ferret pipes up and goes, Black Dragon, I put bacon in a Ziploc bag and call it purse bacon. It's stabilized. I mean, the thing is there, Derek, my my laptop, the one right in front of me here, that it's showing perfectly. The other monitor over on this side isn't. Wonder if I drag that over to the third one. It's a little better. I got 3 different monitors here. But that didn't help me any. But no, when I take a look at this, I'll blame you there, Ferret. Hey, Ferret, you do realize if not joking, I don't blame you there. Well, Derek, here's the thing. Today's technology is designed to fall apart in order to make you have to buy a new one, in order to make you have to spend more money if you desire to continue working with the computer. Okay, that's the thing we have to realize. Okay, but it's up to you. What is this? Absolutely. See, the thing with computers is this. Number one, the computers today, okay, are 6 months out of, and they're 6 months outdated by the time they hit the store shelf. You're not going to get one that is state of the art. They'll call it state of the art, but it isn't. The thing is, we can talk about everything being a scam, everything being, absolutely depressingly um, debilitating, or we can look at it and go, okay, if you know it's a problem, okay, don't buy into it. Find a way to work around it. And I realize in today's world, you kind of have to have a computer, okay, and a cell phone for that matter. The funny thing about it is, Robert White, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The funny thing about it is, society's been doing this same song and dance for at least, and I can literally say this because of memories, for at least 5,000 years. They did the same song and dance back in Egypt, the same one in ancient Rome. Okay, people have been taught for millennia to fear everything around you. Okay, and to go, oh, this is the newest bauble. There was no saying back when I was a child. Okay, that literally went, when you looked at a box that said new and improved, you went, same garbage, new box. Okay, where are we here? Gordana goes, got some Hungarian hot smoked sausages, wheat, vanilla, and sugar. I have no idea what, I mean, I know what that is in a sense. Oh, perfect. I look at technology and go, okay, I can continue to complain about it or figure out. Now, I am quite happy to say that I now have two people that are working, two independent people that are working, that are hopefully working, that have said they're going to give me a hand with selling books and what have you. But needless to say, I got to do something about generating an income here. And look at that. We've been here. The first hour has just flown by. But when we look at it, if you take a look at what you think is a computer, or computer, good thought, that you think is a generational curse, ask yourself this. Do you have any responsibility? Do you believe that curse is going to continue affecting you? Because therein lies the crux of the problem. If you convince yourself, if you permit yourself to believe that that curse that was placed on an ancestor because they did something wrong, if you take that to heart, you will generate that kind of cross current, and certainly it's going to play havoc with your success levels. Ouch. I definitely feel for you on that one there, Derek. Okay. I'm still waiting to make sure I didn't I invested in somebody some time ago, and it'll be another 3 years before I find out whether or not I got shafted. I'm hoping not. In this case, I'm pretty certain that, well, I'm just not accepting it as an option. And yeah, I know that sounds absolutely twisted. Yo, something you can go, I'm not accepting that. Yeah, absolutely no doubt there, Derek. Um, Now, I'm going to ask you a very direct question because I just literally put a formula together that I'm implementing to turn that whole side of my life around. It is going to be printed in a small booklet or in bits and pieces, and probably in bits and pieces, both in a small booklet as well as in my monthly newsletter. Newsletter? Yeah, we're going to start talking about a newsletter. It's got to have 13 pages and it's got to be strong enough to hang you. But not a good idea. I'm surprised you didn't throw cedar in with that there, Black. But no, let me ask you this, Derek, because that's just pathetic. Okay, if you've known them for 20 years, that's gotta hurt even more. Okay. But this is why trust is not something I have a whole lot of faith in. I have no idea. Personally, I never tried eating it. I don't think it can be dangerous. It can be poisonous, at least not when you're burning it, because of the fact that, like I've got cedar incense I've used for years, and it's never killed anybody that I'm aware of. Terry, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hopefully your day's been going well. Yeah, I think it's time to start putting money aside to get myself a new monitor. But I will tell you, I certainly will not be. Where are we here? Joe goes, now the two great dreams I had 2 nights ago in the cemetery. Well, let's stop that. There. In the cemetery, women in bikinis and stirrups, horseback riding in fenced-in area and barn. The other was joyriding motorcycle in another. Sounds like your life's picking up pace. This is a good thing there, Joe. And certainly, a dream like that is not something to complain about, in my opinion. Normally, if I have a dream, I end up with a body count at the end of it. Oh, joyful. Something that would be wise to ask said post office there, Derek, is ask them who told you to block it. Because if it didn't come from the Postmaster General, then frankly, it shouldn't ever been blocked. And if it did come from the Postmaster General, you got a bigger problem. And we have Nathan. How you doing? And Nathan from the Quantum Show is in the house. So this is the link to Nathan's show. Okay. And we go paste that, and we go pop that, drop in, take a look, have a listen. If you like what he has to say, absolutely give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. Okay, and again, Nathan comes on. He comes on 9 o'clock Central on Saturday night, which is 7 o'clock Pacific. Okay, which is why I run into problems. Of course, I may have cured part of that little hiccup, and you're more than welcome there, Nathan. You know, one of these days, I'm going to have to start doing it because the reality is, I keep getting told I've got so much information I'm sitting on, which, in all fairness, is very much the case. I have to take a look at things and go, okay, what am I going, how am I going to piece it all together? there is only so much time in a day I've got. And as it turns out, I'm only sleeping, if I average it out over the course of a month, 5 hours a night. And that's 5 hours a day, counting from midnight to midnight. So it's not like I get a lot of sleep to start with. Okay, what have we got here? Black Dragon, this is going to sound absolutely twisted. Okay, but I'm dead serious about this. This fall, okay, a little late for the year, or for this year, but your apple trees, this fall, when you get the time, walk out amongst them and just test this on your own. Here's a neat little boots on the ground test for you. Take a section of your trees, okay, okay, and what you do, talk to them nicely. Tell them how happy you are with them. Okay, tell them how much you appreciate their work and their gift to you. Okay, do that on a daily basis. Okay, and the reason you do that on a daily basis is it will alter the energy. Now, in a moment, once I finish this, I'll explain the other side of it. Another section of your orchard, leave alone. Okay, the third section, insult the tree. Okay, tell it how unhappy you are. Now this works even if you only have 3 trees. Okay, this was done years ago. Okay, I found out about it years ago. Somebody did the same thing, did that particular maneuver. Okay, did that particular experiment with an entire producing orchard. Why they did it, I don't know. I'm just passing it on to you because it worked. Okay, what they found out was that plants that are talked to nicely, that have positive interactions with people or with the environment around them, produce a much higher, much more, a much richer and flavorful yield than ones that are insulted, or for that matter, the ones that are just left alone. Okay, and when we turn around and look at that, where it comes to children, talking to kids, talking to teenagers, I found one thing very remarkable. Kids would rather, on the whole, have somebody yelling at them all the time than paying no attention to them. They prefer being treated decently, okay, being positively reinforced. But the order, according to the children I talk to, okay, children being anywhere from grade 12 down, okay, what they told me was that in order of preference, you've got being complimented, being encouraged is definitely the best way to go. But they would rather, on the whole, be insulted, yelled at, and controlled than they would to be ignored. The parent that says, go ahead and do what you will. In all fairness, the kids don't actually enjoy that. By the way, neither do plants and neither do animals. Okay. Yeah, the silly part there. I mean, thanks for the reminder the time change is happening. That's the one advantage to this little thing. Okay. I don't have to remember that it's changing. Okay. It just does it for me. Good thing. What do we got here? See, the neat part about it is when we start looking at this whole idea of how to modify the contract. Yeah. Yeah. There it goes. Find a good spot in your backyard and try it. No joke, it works. Well, I agree with you. It does work when the sun is out. The funny part about it is you got to remember the sun is always out. Yes, half the day it's on the other side of the planet, but it's still out there. Okay. The other thing you got to realize is that, when you get that feeling you're being watched, well, you are. The planet you're standing on is keeping pretty close eyes to what you're up to. Joe goes, now for me to be having these incredible dreams, and they are in my dream journal, must be thinking about stuff before I go to bed. That's what I think anyway. And, in all fairness, Joe, that does happen. Okay, that does happen. And this is why I say there's a lot of different things dreams do. If you've been really thinking heavily on something and you go to bed thinking about it, the odds are you're going to have a dream about it. Okay. Sometimes a dream is just a way of reducing stress, which may be why I end up with body counts. Okay. Like, there are some fight scenes in the Yldrbacian Chronicles that I've drawn that I literally woke up going, well, that was a volatile little patch. Let's put that one in here. But yeah, there is no question the way what you're thinking about when you go to bed may well be part of the problem. Okay, it's just a question of what you choose to do with it at that point. Derek, I'm gonna pop a bubble. No. Okay, I won't debate what the dream said, but the consortium is not going to be telling humans how to change. Okay. The reality is that the consortium, they are here to protect Earth. They are here to protect Esau, not the people. Okay. Now, this does not mean that people don't have the power to change things. This is why I came back here. And I should have started this quite literally. Well, I should have started it 50 years ago. Okay. Instead of hiding from the world. You do realize that the consortium has this funny little thing. They're not permitted. Their entire charter won't let them pull that one off. Okay, but I will tell you, it's a great idea. And if you can find 24 people to actually modify things, if you can find 24 people to pitch together and modify things, we could absolutely turn this world on its ear. Okay, problem is that mankind and all things in creation were given free will and freedom of choice. But it's up to you whether or not you take that under your belt, as it were. Okay, from my standpoint, right now they cannot pick 20 and 24 people for two reasons. One, mankind doesn't have enough of a unified look at anything to be able to say those 24 will work for the betterment of the race. Okay. They've got no way of judging that. And unfortunately, and this is where the bigger problem comes in, there are more than 24 countries. Okay, 24 groups of people that have to be taken into consideration. Okay, and very few people. Very few people are even remotely or even functionally remotely willing to just take everybody as is. Yes, I can absolutely say that is the way I look at the world. Okay. And Lord knows if I'm mistaken, I'm quite willing to accept that. Hopefully football hot dogs don't scare you. I know for me, a barking dachshund used to freeze me in my tracks. You know, where I couldn't move a muscle. I was just locked. Okay. Which was really annoying when you realize that I had the same problem when dealing with the talons. But what we've got to realize here is that we have to take a look at where the world is and go, what can you as an individual do to alter the path things are traveling on? Whoop, that's painful. Yeah, the only problem I found with chili dogs at football myself is I don't like it when they drip, which means somebody put too much chili on. Usually that's my fault. Okay. But, you know, any of the hot dogs, like I will sit down and eat a pack of hot dogs just as a snack. Never mind. And I mean, without the buns, I mean, just the wiener. Yeah, I know, lousy diet choice. What the heck? But with that said, my weight is still dropping, which is what was supposed to do in the first place. See, I know when I was about 3 years old, I got bit by a collie here. Now that probably wouldn't have been such a bad thing if it hadn't started here and clamped down on my whole arm. That is where I ended up terrified of dogs for the longest time. You know, but what we have to take a look at, okay, is we have to realize that whatever you do in your life, however you're handling your particular path, it's going to have an echo effect on the world around you. And this is why it's so important that we start finding ways to focus on the similarities between people and not the differences. Football goes, my parakeets would bite me. My parakeet and my parents' parakeets would bite me once, but no, I get along with animals anyway now. Well, I always did. I was just terrified of dogs, which is really weird. When I was a kid and absolutely terrified of the things, if they weren't barking, I was fine with them. Horses were another problem. But if you think you're starting that you're caught, if you think you're caught in a generational curse, ask yourself one thing. Okay, does that make any sense? Now here's the hiccup, here's the neat little kicker to it. Okay. If you believe you're dealing with a generational curse, what this boils down to is you believe you did something, and this may be a subconscious thought process, by the way, but it translates into you believe you did something to perpetuate said curse. Oh, I did. Good. No, I didn't. Okay. So here's the kicker. Give me 10 seconds and I will put that to rest. If you believe you're tied to a generational curse, then what you also clearly believe, and this may be a subconscious thing, okay, um, if that's the case, find a reflective surface. Look in the eyes of the guy or the gal looking back at you. Hopefully it's the same as the person that you think it is. But you look in their eyes and you literally go, you literally tell the person in the mirror, I forgive you for everything you have done and everything you feel you may have done to hinder my personal growth and happiness. By doing this, you'll snap the curse. Now, you may have to do that on a number of occasions to sink it into your own head. There it goes. Where are we here? Yeah, football's just let us know that, there's a story that delivery drivers and postal carriers would not deliver it to a home because of Dogman. That wouldn't be a shock. I mean, let's face it. If you had a run-in with Dogman, that's going to create a bit of a problem. There it goes. Funny you say that. We just started feeding another stray cat. The other night, black with white paws, very friendly. The other cat, Skitty Kitty, we called her. After 2 years, it's still skittish. Some cats are just a nervous wreck. We had one that was a nervous wreck for 16 years, right from the time it was a kitten all the way to the time it died. Yeah, the neat part there, Derek, as much as she eats and runs, you can bet your bottom dollar she's happy that she found that she came in contact with you. Skittish she may be, but the fact she keeps coming back says she's got courage. Okay, because remember, courage is action in spite of fear, not no fear. See, you got to remember there, Derek, every single animal has its own personality. Okay, and this is why I say no one race can be said, this race is this way. It doesn't work that way. Curses likewise do not work that way. One person's curse can be another person's blessing. Okay. I mean, obviously, like there was a situation here when lockdown happened. Everybody complained they were being told they had to stay locked up. I went a decade earlier, I stopped going out and seeing people. And I always had to come up with reasons why I didn't want to leave the house. Then lockdown comes along and I went, they're telling me stay away from people, stay away from people, stay home and drink lots of hot liquids. I'm like, I don't want to leave the house. I don't like being around a lot of people. I've got a 30-cup urn. I'm good. So the lockdown for me worked out absolutely perfectly. I no longer had to come up with a reason not to leave the house. Oh, absolutely, Emmy. Emmy goes, same with rats. They have different personalities. Absolutely. I actually used to raise rats. Well, we had 2 sets of 2 just because of the way it worked out. We didn't breed them. I just took care of them until they up and died on us, which, by the way, they will do. But if you're aiming at ending a generational curse, forgive yourself for taking it on. Well, when you think it wouldn't be a shock at all. Cats have, in case you hadn't noticed, cats were never domesticated. Dogs were domesticated. Cats choose their owners. You're the food bringer. You're the kitty litter changer. You're the back scratcher. They're not your pet. Okay. They are simply here to be taken care of. And Lord knows, given I've had, aside from the last 15 years where I haven't had a cat, I haven't had a pet at all in the last 15 years. One thing about any sort of contract, any sort of a curse you may be dealing that you may feel you're dealing with, you can literally alter that by giving yourself permission to put it aside, providing you did not come right out and go, okay, this is my family's curse. I'm going to accept it and I'm going to deal with it. If you made that context of a comment, then certainly you're going to have to deal with it. Okay. Yeah, that cat has some serious issues. I don't like the flavor of chlorine personally. But hey, maybe she's got a dietary requirement that requires the chlorine, which is odd, but not unheard of. Now what we're looking at this point, okay, is I've done, where is it? Did I put it here? Nope. Oh, that's because I put it. Hey, come back here. Where did I put it? Must be still in my bag. Yep. This funny little folder that I take to, the to wings when I go to write. Oh, that was the story behind the Yldrbac Chronicles. So these are articles I've got to get written, but nope, that's just articles I got to get to. So I will finish those off tonight. Because it's funny, when did I get up this morning? Yeah, that's a bonus. Morning. Yeah, today's Friday. That's a scary thought. Did I actually go back? I did so. I ended up getting up at 2:30 this morning. Well, how do we got here? Oh, that is absolutely fantastic there, Derek. I have no idea what my eldest son made for me. It's in the fridge. He made it just before heading off to work. But I do know that I'm making a ground elk rice pilaf tonight. Okay, simply because of the fact that, well, frankly, I desire to. Oh, trust me, that's not going to make you happy. I believe the term there, Derek. I mean, I appreciate the request, but there's a reason I don't sing. Part of it may well be psychological. Okay, but I will quite happily wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday. But I'm probably giving you a much better birthday gift by not singing it. I believe that, in what was it now? In Avengers, when Captain America walked in Avengers Endgame, when Captain America walked in, he was talking to Black Widow, and he goes, I'd offer to cook you dinner, but I think you're already having a bad enough day. This would apply to my voice as well. What do we got here? From the only dressing I don't personally like is blue cheese. I never have liked it. for a lot of reasons, I suspect. I will tell you, Derek, one thing that I've noticed really, really strongly in today's world, many people don't sit down to one meal. Christine, welcome aboard. Glad you could join us. I will absolutely keep an eye open for it and let you know as soon as it gets here. Fortunately, I don't leave the house a whole lot, so I'm usually here when it arrives anyway. But I did turn around and, Ferret, you're back. I did turn around and come up with and I wonder what I did with it. What did I do with it? Hate when I confuse myself. Oh, that's because I put it here. That's the stuff I'm trying to sort out. Here we go. Told you I had worked on something today. Okay, gravity works. That's good. See, when I get into one of these moods, I'm going to put a new thought line together. I start off with, and there you go, and I don't expect you to read it. Let's try it that way. Okay, I start off with point form and then expand from there. But if, like some of you are dealing with, which I'm sure you are, where are we here? Fair goes, I left and ate and came back. But now for some reason I'm craving bacon. That would have to be, that's got to be Black's fault. I believe that is where the problem is. I'm just scrolling back up here. And that's absolutely terrible. Okay, let's scroll down and see what's at the bottom end here. I do there, Ferret. All I need from your standpoint, if you'd like a copy, I need one of two things. Either an email address to send it to, or a physical mailing address. Okay, I'm actually getting ready. Where are we here? Today is the 11th, so sometime this coming week, I'll be packaging up December's newsletter to head out. I am slowly, I've been doing it now for 6 months. I'm finally getting a pattern in place because it takes me forever to get things organized, it seems. Where is there? December. Yeah, I've got one last article I got to write for it, but that's okay because what happens is I write the final article, I write the article, then I contact my other half who does my transcription, my editing, and the whole 9 yards. And then she ships it back and we can send it to print. Where are we here? Minimize that. Yeah, see, Black Dragon, essentially, you're absolutely correct. Okay, people have been taught. What have we got here? Just got a post from you, a text message from you here, Derek. So as soon as I can get it to work. Well, there's the interesting idea. Yeah. I didn't ever do well in. That is definitely that's got to be one of the weirdest texts I've ever seen and I've ever received. But what the heck? Oh, where are we? Oh, Joe, when will we be dealing with the butterfly effect? I completely forgot about that one. I know I suggested it. Let me see here. Considering I don't have anything solidly booked right now, let's just get that locked in right now while we're thinking about it there, Joe. Like usual, you come up with great ideas that tend to work out well as far as drawing people's attention. Now, today is Friday. What are we doing? We'll do it there. The answer to your question, because I'm marking it in now. Okay. Assuming I don't end up dead or sidetracked or wiped out or something like this, the butterfly effect there, Joe, I've got listed on my hard copy calendar on my desktop. There we go. Not that you can read it, but right here on the 8th. Okay. That's next Wednesday or this coming Wednesday, depending on how you want to phrase it. And that was canceled. Hopefully that was canceled, but we'll find out. But what do we got here? Yeah, the butterfly effect there, Joe. We will deal with on Wednesday. Um, in Dave's case, he may. I never speak for other people. I mean, I've been challenged to a lot of things over the years, or either challenged or somebody go, "I dare you to do this." I'll look at him and go, "No, not that interested, but thanks very much." As far as wrestling matches go, clearly, if we're talking physically, not going to happen. If we're talking technologically speaking, as in on a game somewhere, my hands don't work well enough to do that at all. Which is why I don't tend to. Yeah, I absolutely am doing my best to get things scheduled and stay on top of them. What do we got? Derek goes. Elovni Volador has been missing since since Las Vegas Spaced Out Radio Fun Party. From my standpoint, yeah, that I have no way of telling you. Where are we going here? Go way back up here. Yeah, one thing, I am, by the way, with regards to the newsletter, I know this is a little bit sidetracked, but I've started doing bits and pieces, or more to the point, short articles on the discrepancies in astrology, on some of the changes that we really have to start making in society. If we're going to turn this world around, we got to get started. Okay. We should have gotten started decades back. Okay. And in all fairness, given what I've been told, that was kind of my fault. I was supposed to step out of the shadows 55 years ago. No, definitely not. There's a lot of work involved. And sadly, my organizational skills are not necessarily as well developed as I'd like. But this neat little sheet here, Okay. This is the one that literally, I've got one, Believe in Your Finances and Follow Your Dreams, that tells you how to work with your finances. This little blurb that I'm working on now is literally going to show you how to take your money, okay, using your income to pull yourself out of a nosedive. It will require effort on your part. It will require some stubborn disposition, if you will, which most of you clearly have. That's not a problem. Okay, but it's time to start getting some of this stuff dealt with. You know, a couple of the important little factors is you got to break that idea that you need and that you require everything in the here and now. You have to have it right away. Because I'm telling you, that doesn't work well. Okay. Patience and persistence are critical. Don't mind me, noises going on out there. But I am starting to finally get regular articles or regular sides together. If Fair goes, I need to retire. You know, the funny thing is, when I talk to people that have already retired, and I've done this for years, the one most common thing I find that many retirees complain about is, how did I ever get anything done before I retired? In my case, I don't know. Apparently, if you're writing 29 books concurrently, 29 books, writing a newsletter, producing a video, producing a live stream, reading 3 books and 3 other books at the same time. Apparently, this isn't called retiring. There's a lot of things it might be called, but the thing you have to ask about yourself, though, Ferret, I would suggest you ask, is that would be the problem. Okay, just a suggestion. But let me ask you this, and you don't have to answer, obviously. But just a suggestion. Do you have any idea of what would be fulfilling that you could start doing in addition to your work? Because I'm telling you, quitting your work, it doesn't work out as well as you'd like. I didn't actually quit mine. They pulled the plug on it. And now I'm starting to push to bring things back into balance. But what do you consider is a fulfilling thing? That'd be the first thing you have to look at. Okay. Because I will tell you, you're absolutely right. If what you're doing is not fulfilling, you're going to have to fight to deal with it. But if your work is not fulfilling, be absolutely certain that you don't quit the thing if you don't have a replacement income. This does not work well. Okay. One of the biggest things, and absolutely, guys, do drop your suggestions into the comments. Okay. If there is I'm going to be listing, that'd be an idea for me to put a list together of the different major thought lines that I'm going to be consistently putting into the newsletter. Now I finally got an idea of what I'm aiming for. Well, there you go. Start doing quite literally there, Ferret. I mean, I love the sound of bagpipes, which may make sense since I've got a Scottish heritage. I do not like the sound of bagpipes when the person doesn't know how to play them. Then it sounds like somebody's throttling a cat. And sad to say, I actually know what that sounds like. Yeah, it definitely is a process. I've never even held a set of bagpipes. Mind you, I also haven't held on to a claymore, which when I've got the money, I am going to contact Scotland and I'm quite willing to pay the money for it. I just don't have the money right now. I think this is where it would be hint, hint. If somebody can get me an actual Scottish claymore, that would be, that would be great. Of course, I like blades. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Ferret. This is one of those things. I would love to have you come back in here someday and go, hey, I've got a student that I'm actually teaching bagpipes to. I'm actually teaching them to play bagpipes. That's one of those instruments that is extremely unique. Okay, and in my opinion, phenomenal to listen to. If the person knows how to play it. If the person doesn't know how to play it, there aren't many instruments that can actually sound worse. Oh, black, that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Fair says, I have a few students now, but would like to spend more time. That boils down to, do you know how to organize that time? Do you know how to actually clock it in? Because that's the real key right there, is figure out how to actually book it. Fair goes, bagpipe joke. We tune because we care. Yeah, because I tell you this, if you're not in tune, it is not nice. Okay. I mean, it is a way to incite a riot, but usually that's people trying to get away. But no, the thing is, I'm looking at a couple of things, and this is why I told the government I'm building a school. Well, I told them I was building an empire, and they didn't believe me. Of course, they told me all sorts of things they shouldn't have, and then complained that I did what they told, or more to the point, didn't do what they told me. But just what have we got? That wouldn't be a shock. I wouldn't know it's a tuned bagpipe. I wouldn't know if the bagpipe was tuned or not. I do know whether I like the sound of things. I absolutely do. Now, where are we here? Oh, we are winding things down. Couple of very important factors, guys. Okay, first, if you did enjoy the stream, do me a favor and give us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. That would be really appreciated. For those of you that desire to get the newsletter, okay, it is, regardless whether I send it by land mail or by email, it is and will remain 100% free. All I require is either a physical mailing address or an email address in order to get it to you. Okay. And the next one will come out, the one for December will be coming out later this week. Where are we here? So that said, I will be on again tomorrow. I will be on again tonight on Spaced Out Radio. And again, guys, this is the link to Spaced Out Radio. 9 o'clock tonight Pacific time until 11 o'clock tonight Pacific. Okay, is where I will be. Okay, now, and this is the other side of this. If you are looking for any one of the books that I've written, okay, here's the one website that's got most of them listed on it. It might have all of them listed on it. Now, what I did there, I have no idea. But And where are we? This is the email address for any connection to me. This is the best one to get a hold of, but underneath every one of my videos, you'll find a whole list of ways of getting a hold of me. Okay, this email is the same one I use for PayPal as well. Okay, now, all in all, oh, that's no fun. We've got a Costco here. I just don't go there because way too many people. But I'm going to be calling it a night here, guys. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it. You know, the support I get here is absolutely phenomenal. So again, until we meet again, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.